Good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, we are here on the last day of December, and 2012 is almost over. But before it decides to disappear completely, I'm going to give you my top 10 films of the year because I have an opinion just like everybody else, and I feel like I should just throw it out there. Now, granted, there are going to be a few films that are on this list that some of you may not have seen, and there's a few films that was on my list because there was other films in the year I didn't get to see. But anyway, I'm going to give you my list, and you can tell me what you think. So let's rock it. The Hypersonic 55's Top 10 Films of 2012. Yeah. Number 10. So we're bringing up the rear. Number 10, we have Chronicle. Now, that was one of the best films I saw this year, and it was the first film I saw in the year as well. I happened to go back and see it with a few of my friends, and the trailers and the whole Facebook campaign for it wasn't really gelling with me, but when I saw the film I was like, damn, this film is awesome. It used the whole found footage camera thing, and it actually looked pretty decent. The way in which it was done is very good, and I love the central performances by Dane DeHaan, Alex Russell, and Michael B. Jordan, and it gave us a realistic take on what teenagers would do if they actually got the abilities of superheroes. And it was just nice. The whole telekinetic abilities and the whole flying thing and the use of CGI was good, if a bit iffy at times, but yeah, Chronicle, good times, and a great way to start the year. Number 9. So at number 9 we have Marley, which is the documentary based on the life of Bob Marley. It gave us a very in-depth look at Bob Marley's life from the time he started in his music career to the time in which he died, through a lot of good archive footage and really interesting interviews from his family members as well. I thought Marley was just really, really good. It was really informative, emotive, and there was a lot of nostalgia thrown all over the place. You got to learn so much about Bob Marley's style and the way in which he performed, and all of his music just scattered all over the documentary was fabulous. Marley was some good stuff. Number 8. At number 8 we have Rise of the Guardians. Now, this film I heard about a little while ago, but then I was thinking, is it gonna be that good? I don't know. But then I saw it and I was like, damn, Rise of the Guardians is awesome. It's like some animated version of the Avengers. I just love the way in which these fairy tale characters are all brought to life, and the way in which the story revolves around them as well. The voice acting was solid, the CGI was fantastic, and the story, while decent, it held true to our heart a little bit, And while there have been other animations that some people may say is better, Rise of the Guardians for me is my number 8. Number 7. At number 7 we happen to have Silver Linings Playbook. Now this is a film that I wasn't initially going to watch because I had no interest in it, but one day I found myself with some free time in the cinema, so I was like, you know what, let's go back and take a look at that film, see what's going down. But I was so glad I saw it. It was one of my favourite films of the year for a reason. It had a really good story, some Oscar-worthy performances from Jennifer Lawrence and Bradley Cooper, and I just fell in love with the movie. It was really nice, really emotive, and touched the soul, man. So when a film touches your soul, it's got to be good, right? So yeah, Silver Linings Playbook, good times. Number 6. So at number 6 we have Looper. Now I can see a number of people being very angry at me with this choice, but allow me to explain. You see, Looper was my second favourite film of the year until around about October, when there was a number of other films that came into play that literally just pushed the film down the list a little bit. But that doesn't mean Looper is a bad film by any means. Looper is friggin' awesome. It had a really good story, a great central performance by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and that one kid in the film who's the best child actor I've ever seen in any film ever in existence. And the whole time travel elements were pretty good, if a bit iffy at times, but again, it's a great movie. It just wasn't as amazing as the next set of films in my list. So again, Looper is a great movie. Don't hate my placement of this film. It's just not as hyped up as the next 5. Number 5. Okay, so now we're at number 5, and at number 5 we have Skyfall. Now, Skyfall was a film I was just hoping was going to be good, because after the disappointment of Quantum of Solace, I needed a good Bond fix. And luckily Skyfall gave me my juice, man. It had all of those darker, more realistic sensibilities that came with the more recent Bond films, but it also has some of the more nostalgic classic elements that you found in the earlier Bond films in the 60s and 70s. It was great. It had a lot of character-driven story elements, and there was a lot of drama. I loved the drama, and there was a great set of central performances from Daniel Craig, Javier Bardem, and Dame Judi Dench. Skyfall was awesome. It had a kick-ass soundtrack. The action sequences were wicked. And yeah, it was just, yeah. Number 4. Okay, at number 4 we have The Dark Knight Rises. Now, I still don't care what anybody says. The Dark Knight Rises is my favourite of the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy. You know why? It's because there's a greater sense of urgency. There's a bigger scale to everything. And for once in all of the Batman films, Batman actually gets to go up against someone in hand-to-hand combat and actually has a match for him in the shape of Bane. Tom Hardy was a beast as Bane. He was just that menacing stare, that epic voice, which some people hate, but I still like it anyway. It was just well filmed. The choreography of the fights was great. The cinematography was lovely. The soundtrack by Hans Zimmer just makes me want to blow up. And I thought the film was great. Sure, there's a great number of inconsistencies about the film, but other than that, The Dark Knight Rises for me was the film that I needed. It was my Batman film, and I liked it. Number 3. At number 3, we happen to have The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey. Now, some of you who may have watched my previous video may have seen in my Hobbit review, I said that it was my favourite film of the year. I happened to go about and think about it, and to be honest, the next 2 films in my list are just slightly above The Hobbit, but that's not to say The Hobbit is a bad film by any means. Sure, it's not as captivating as Lord of the Rings, but it's still friggin' badass. I loved returning to the world of Middle-earth and revisiting these characters in this world and like seeing all the new stuff that it had to give. Peter Jackson directed a really fine movie with a fantastic soundtrack by Howard Shore, and seeing all the new characters along with Martin Freeman, along with Ian McKellen and everyone else, they were all just cracking. The film was good, it looked good, it sounded great, and I need to see it again. Hobbit's good, yeah. Number 2. Alright, and now we get to number 2, which is The Perks of Being a Wallflower. To say that I love this film is an understatement. I adored this film. I didn't even know about its existence until about 1 week before it actually showed up in the cinema, but I thought it was amazing. It was a great coming-of-age story, and it had great central performances by Logan Lerman, Emma Watson, and Ezra Miller. It was just a film that touched my heart. It was relatable, it was great, it was wonderful, it made me cry, and I don't cry that often in the cinema, so like, you know, The Perks of Being a Wallflower was just a film. It's amazing. I love it, really. Number 1! And then we come to number 1, and to be honest, yeah, if it wasn't anything else on the list, what else did you think it was going to be? It's The Avengers, mate. I have been bumming the hell out of this film since I saw it in May of this year, and I'm still going to keep going on about it for ages. This is the film I prayed to God was not going to suck, and it gave me everything I needed and more. It brought all these superheroes from the individual films into one film and killed it. The Avengers gave me everything I needed in a comic book movie and more, and Joss Whedon, he said he was going to kill it, and he killed it so bad. We trusted him, and he gave us the godsend of, like, you know, comic book movies in my opinion. Favourite comic book movie ever. The Avengers, my number 1 of 2012. Power to the people. Yeah! So that's been my list, ladies and gentlemen. What did you think of it? Maybe you liked it, maybe you hated it. Give me your comments below. Show me your top 10 lists down below. And yeah, it's been a great year. Let's hope that 2013 brings us some Batman movies too. So, until the next time, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Hypersonic 55 signing out. Yo!